Namaskar. Welcome to our channel Kalpataru. Kalpataru, as you know, a learning, knowledge sharing platform. As we begin this new session of Guru Shishya learning modules, we sincerely offer our prayer with deep regard and respect to all our parents, teachers, spiritual masters, and gurus, and seek their blessings to take this initiative forward for the benefit of everyone. So today's session is on one very important topic which I named like a journey into the employment world. This is a very important topic these days. How a student from Tier 2, Tier 3 cities or smaller towns, they prepare for the job and they try to understand the labor market and then they get into the job. So in the process, they face many complexities, problems and challenges. So during this interactive session, I have tried to bring out those points which will give a student an insight into actual labor market issues, actual understanding of the industry, actual understanding of the demand, and how his or her skill need to be aligned to the skill as required in different industry and sectors. That is the overall objective. I have planned to cover the entire discussion into 4 sessions. So this is the beginning of the first session. A journey into employment world is the name which I give. Now in this journey you have to plan, prepare and perform to get best outcomes by understanding and insight into different aspects of employment domain. There are 5 core points which we need to understand about labor market of our system in India under different states. जॉब एम्प्लॉयमेंट डोमेन को समझने के लिए मैंने इस पूरे लेक्चर को 5 पार्ट में डिवाइड किया है और अभी शुरू में जो डिस्कशन हम चालू करेंगे वो 5 मुख्य मुद्दों पे बात करेंगे जो कि एम्प्लॉयमेंट से जुड़ी हुई कुछ बातें हैं जो आपको डिसीजन लेने में आसानी होगी, आप उसको समझ पाएंगे जब मैं इन चीज़ों को आपको बताऊंगा. फर्स्ट पॉइंट, India is too big a country and our supply demand system is skewed. Means some kind of mismatch between the job demand and the supply from the academic and vocational institutions. जहाँ पर काफ़ी सारी रोजगार की वैकेंसीज हैं, डिमांड है, वहाँ पर बच्चे कम हैं और जहाँ बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा हैं वहाँ रोजगार की वैकेंसीज कम हैं. This is a typical problem India facing because of the vast size and scale of our labor market. हर साल nearly 10 million youths अगर हम बाहर लेबर मार्केट में अगर आते हैं और if they try to go into these complexities then it becomes a very difficult thing. So this labor market style and pattern maybe for a smaller countries it is not like this, where the supply is there from the academic institution, vocational institution, industry are also there in the close by places. So matching is very easy. But in India, this thing is slightly difficult. This is one of the important feature of Indian labor market. ऐसे market के बीच में ध्यान में रख के we try to search for job. But we need to understand this is a problem. So many times we come across such reports in the newspapers that there is no employment. But if you open any IT portal of different employment firms, manpower sourcing firms, you will find huge demand of manpower in particular place. But there is no manpower. So this typically there is deficiency of job, but there is also deficiency of manpower. Both the thing we are facing simultaneously, which is a very different thing, which we need to understand. Second issue is that when this kind of scene exists, supply demand is not available in the place in which you wanted to do the job, then you have to go to a distant location, different locations to do a job. Once you do that, then your many questions comes up: where you will go and stay, what will be your food, how to travel to those places, medical facilities, and so many things. And then again, who is going to take care of your home at your parental place or at your native place? So these kind of decisions also affects your employment or job opportunity in India. So it is not only the job, getting the job, but after getting the job, then planning for all other things becomes very important. And this becomes also important, say, for girls who are going to different cities, where they stay, whether they get the accommodation or not. There are so many things that comes and create hindrance to get a job, to get into a job. Third problem is that because of these problems, if someone get into a job in some place, then after few months time, she or he may not like those things. They may start facing same problems and then they come back. This we say attrition. So if the attrition rate is very high, like in textile sector, I heard attrition is very high in India. People go engage in a job, then they can they leave the job quickly. So because of attrition, the employer suffers, the parent who did some investment, the student who put the hard work, everyone suffers. So our decision to go in a job in a new place, in a different place, need to be very properly understood, need to be properly researched and seen कि हमको वहाँ जाने से जो प्रॉब्लम्स होंगे उनके बारे में हमें पहले से सोचना है, सोच के प्लानिंग करके then we have to move. So this is an important factor. And fourth is that in a typical our labor market, the aspiration levels of students are like this. Everyone expects very high flying kind of job at the beginning. But first job not to be seen in terms of earning money. It is for experiencing, for learning. Because the very first job, the scale by which you learn many things, that will not come with that money what you are getting. That is a very small thing. But the experience and learning what you get to get into a job, that is very, very important. It builds your skills like anything, which you will not understand in the initially. But after some time, you will find that in an attempt to do a job, to move to a different place, different city, different environment, you have learned so many things of life that will give you self-confidence. And then you start going up at very high speed. So this is the problem happens, but try to understand this is the problem on which you can build also, you can reshape your personality, you can change you. Automatically you will get change. And last point is that the mobility becomes very important in our decisions. I shall try to give you example, say after independence, many of the Indian developmental activities happened that time. Railways developed, defense stations developed, steel plants, PSUs, they developed in different cities. So in those time, after independence, maybe for 50s and 60s, many people from different parts of the country, they moved to those places. Mobility, migration happened. So first generation of the people, they went there, they built up there, they sacrificed their comfort at their parental place or native place, but they went to those places. Now if you see those colonies, they have developed very nicely. They are contributing very nicely. Now the second, third generations students have, second, third generation people have coming up from those colonies, those places. You can see they are performing very nice. They are contributing excellently in all fields. You take any steel plant colonies, old military station, defense stations, railway schools and all, you will find their students are going to different places. Now they are at, positioning at different places, maybe in public sector, in private sector and other places. So the migration that has happened at the time of independence, that has given rise to many development activities, not only in developing those colonies, but the future generation from those colonies, they have to build up themselves very nicely. It is practically seen. So mobility is one of the important factors which we need to understand in a very clear way. I think our students in schools and colleges need to be taught that how mobility is to be understood in Indian context. That is very, very important. Now, this first session, I shall focus, because of the constraint of the time, I shall not get into very detail, but you may further explore using Google and other networks on the issues which I mentioned during discussion. You can Google and see further details about those things. Then there are many new schemes and initiatives as taken by the government in different domains of education, skilling, labor, new job portals, new platforms, etc., which makes an youth aware and skilled, which I shall give some example during the course of discussion. But further details, you need to go into those websites of the organization and need to see those things to get yourself further enriched. So in this discussion things, there may be many issues which comes up. Please note down and try to see the details in the website at subsequent stages. I will try to narrate you something which I experience in a very practical sense. What I experience in an industry on the shop floor, that I will try to narrate you so that you understand that okay, this is the way industry works. Because understanding your skills as per the industry requirement before joining an industry is very important. Once you join, you will get experience automatically. But before that, you need to understand what exactly need to be done. That I shall try to tell you during this course of discussion. So, again, I shall touch the first point of the mobility, and I shall advise you. I have seen people going out to best places from these colonies, which has come up after independence, which I told you, which I mentioned to you about the mobility issues connected with the first generation. Now the second, third generation is also doing wonderful in those places. So go out from your place to new places for getting job, and after serving 2-3 years, if you don't feel, come back home and you will realize that you are in a much better trained position. Many soft skills and employability skills which we discuss in this series of lectures are highly relevant, but once you experience in such new places, then you learn automatically many of the soft skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, problem solving skills. Many of these skills which are very important to do a perfect job in the industry, you start automatically learning them. Now, one more key message which I need to convey to you is that getting a first job, whenever you plan for getting a first job, you should not have the idea of earning from that job. You should see that how much I can learn maximum from that job. So learning is very important in the first job. Earning may not be important. Earning you will get automatically once you get into a job, and the moment you gain your self-confidence, you start learning the things, different skills, then automatically you will start earning. But first focus should be on to learn thing. There are many learnings which happens, not only inside the plant or industry or business, but even to outside. How to stay in new places, how to communicate and mix with people, how to adjust in with new food habits. So this learning and skill development takes place in a very unique way when you go out. I shall narrate my example to you when almost 30 years back, for the first job when we went to South India in some of the areas. There we were not able to understand the language. So when we used to travel by bus, by the time we try to understand where this bus is going, the bus is already filled up. So next time what we did, we just saw the alphabets and pictured them and kept in our pocket. So whenever the buses are coming from our place, then we used to see match with the picture with this and that one. And then we used to board into the bus. But slowly we learned that language. But what I am saying, in the initial days, even by this way we used to overcome the language skill problem in new place. But that gave us understanding, how to communicate in new place, how to talk to them, how to get yours, because eventually we are all in the same country, but we need to understand them. So this kind of wider understanding comes once you move out from your place. That is very important. So with this, I conclude this session, and I hope that this session must have gave you some understanding about the Indian labor market, how it is functions, what are the main problems and challenges, how the skewed distribution of manpower, demand supply side, how it creates problem. Mobility is a very important decision which you have to take. And first job, never think first job is for earning purpose. First job is to learn the maximum things. And this skill development or whatever learning we say, inside the classroom learning is happening, it's fine. Somebody else coming and teaching you. But the way when you experience life in a new place with new people, your learning is much more faster, much more practical. And those things will take you forward. So this is the first thing. In our next lecture, we shall discuss on different aspirational jobs and how the new jobs are coming up in the market, the trades and subject which you have studied and the job which are coming up. There is a gap again between them. This is another new kind of problems. So how you fill up that gaps, how you prepare to address those gaps, that we shall discuss in the next session. Like this, one by one step will go, and 3 or 4 modules will complete this understanding. So by the end of this, you will have confidence to understand more about the employment market of India, more about the job market of India, and more about the industries and businesses. Thank you. Namaskar.